Right. Hello and welcome. Woot, woot, woot. Hello and welcome. Hi, everyone. I so love, I so love seeing your faces. Honestly, it's such a cool experience getting a get together again. I just want to, I was going to say something I was talking to somebody, and it's really this community. It's not necessarily me or anything like that. It's the community. And I wanted to thank you guys all for showing up for community, for all of us. So thanks for being here. Welcome to Zenful Conversations. Thanks for coming and supporting this space. Please visit zenfulconversations.com to sign up for more free offerings. My name is Zen Brown. I'm your host, and just a reminder today that we are recording for podcast, and we are here with Juliana J. Bruno. Let's give it up. Juliana's in the house. Woot woot. Juliana is a wellness professional and content creator with a focus on helping people overcome social and mental health challenges. Having graduated with masters in educational psychology, she went on to lead several nonprofit and academic environments before opening her own organization, Social Refugees. She's also the author of the book Reasons to Live, an interactive guide to healing and overcoming suicidal thoughts and how to help others survive. Juliana is also the host of the I Care About You podcast, and she is here with us today. So, welcome, Juliana. Welcome, welcome so much. Thanks for being here.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being together in community and for sharing your love and your light here with us. I think I'm pretty much going to turn it over to you to not use too much time on me jibber jabbering here. I'll keep an eye on the tech. I'll let people come and go as they need to. You please enjoy your time here. There's no pressure, it's not stress. We're all here to have a good time, and I really hope you do have a good time. So, thanks again. Welcome, and tell us more about your podcast or yourself or what's on your heart and mind to share today.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. Thank you for this podcast and providing this space for people to get together in community and talk about the things that are important to them. And thank you all for being here and showing up today. I know that becomes more and more challenging with every passing day. It just feels like time has gotten so sped up. It's hard to take the time to do things for yourself. And I appreciate that you all showed up and have devoted this time to yourself. And I hope we can make the best of it while we're all here together. Uh, as Jen said, I am a writer and a content creator, and I work a lot in mental health. But today, what I really want to concentrate on, because it's the new year, because we're here all together in this time after the solstice, where we're sort of opening back up again, as it were, it's a great time to talk about manifestation and what that looks like and how that is different for everyone and how you can make the most of that through this coming year, 2026, and a year, the first year in a new cycle, right? It's so nice to get rid of the 9 year cycle 2025. I don't know about all of you, but I was happy to bid that year goodbye and welcome this new year. And so before we really get into it, I just want to take a brief moment to just settle into where we are in the space and take a few deep breaths and ground down, feel your chair, feel the earth supporting you and however you are in this moment. And take a moment to just slow down your pace a little bit. I don't know about you, but often we rush to these things and we spend the first 20 minutes, half an hour just trying to settle into ourselves and we don't give ourselves the full awareness and attention in those moments. So if we just take a moment now, I'm actually at a friend's house today, or I would light a candle, but if you want to light a candle and open the space for yourself, please feel free to do that. And just a few quick, deep breaths for us. I also want to take a moment to look at each one of all of you who've come here. It's not mandatory you have your camera on. You don't have to have your camera on at all, but it's so nice to look into all of your faces and send you all appreciation for being here. So, manifestation, right? It has so many different, um, just sort of connotations for different people and even different generations. And it can mean so much. It can mean something that is a wonderful tool people are working with to something that they find is a great frustration. So many things in between. And I want to also invite you to raise your hand, unmute, talk, say something about it. If you do, I want this to be an engaging conversation between all of us. And if something comes up and you feel like, oh yes, I have something to say about this, or yes, I find manifestation extremely frustrating. Please, I would love to hear. We can open up a dialogue. Often how you're feeling about something, someone else in the room is also feeling the same way. Oh, I see a hand raised already. Joan.
Can you define what you're referring to when you use the word manifestations?
Sure. So, I notice a lot that the younger generations, I want to also say, I'm in California and there's been no sun where I've been for a long time, pouring, 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 pouring rain. And this is the first sun of the day. So, I'm a little bit enjoying it. So sorry for the strange lighting that I'm having, but it's so nice to feel the warmth of the sun. But anyway, back to manifestation. So different people think of it in different ways. Like I have a daughter who's in her early 20s, and manifestation has this completely different context, say myself, who has just turned the big 6-0, which is a portal into itself for all of you who are finding yourself on that other side of 60. I have a different viewpoint of it, right? And then there are people who view manifestation as all you have to do is write it on a piece of paper, burn it in a candle, and then sit back and wait for something great to happen. And that's not the most productive way to go about manifestation. So, manifestation is a big, I like to think of it for me as it's this tapping into your energy, into your flow, into your truths and living into them and co-creating with the universe, with the divine, with the spirits around you, with your spirit guides, with your community, with other people close to you and maybe not so close to you. It's very intertwined in an individual's spirituality for me. And I feel like that makes it all individual for each one of us here is going to have a slightly different definition of what manifestation is for them. Some people think manifestation is really about New Year's resolutions and working towards those. And some people are very ethereal in how they go about manifestation. So, what I'm going to talk about today regarding manifestation is how to use journaling to really get to the root of what you want to manifest and how you co create. Often, we don't quite know how to co create with something we're really wanting to create for ourselves. We don't know what our role is in that because sometimes it can be quite big. For me, man, I'm this year really want to manifest some financial security. And that in itself is just so huge and almost feels like a big monster, kind of out of my control in a way, you know? And so how can I really work with that within what that actually means? And journaling is a great way to do that. It's a way to tap into your energy because it's not just manifestation is about these energetic things for me. One, matching the energy of what you want to manifest. Oftentimes, like I'll use my example probably throughout this meeting, this time together, financial security. If I want to manifest financial security, but I constantly live in a state of lack or scarcity, then I'm not matching the energy of what it would be like to be financially secure. Even though I'm saying my goal is to be financially secure, I want to be financially secure, I need to manifest financial security. But if I'm not matching that energy, if I'm afraid to look at my bank account, if I'm always thinking, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't afford it, I'm worried about my housing, I'm worried about meeting my bills. Now, of course, you can't cast that all aside and go over to Macy's and spend thousands of dollars when you really need to be on a budget. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying find if you want abundance, find abundance in your life in whatever that might be. Maybe it's instead of thinking I only have $5 left at the end of the month, I have $5 left at the end of the month. That's a different kind of energy than, at the end of this month, I only have $5 left. If I'm lucky, I'm worried moment to moment. It's your perception and matching that energy and finding that space where you can be thankful for what you have, be in the presence of what you have, and to shift the narrative that you've had in your mind, those well-worn grooves of, I know for me, my feelings of scarcity are something that I've really honed my entire life, right? Just that feeling of, I don't have enough money as a child. I don't have enough for this or that, and then going out into my life as a young adult and not having enough and living paycheck to paycheck and just, I just kept burrowing those grooves in my brain of scarcity until I have this well-worn groove where when it pours rain, it all runs in those grooves. And that's my thoughts. That rain is like I'm going to go straight to those spaces, if that makes sense. So it's about if your goal is financial security or to cultivate more abundant love in your life, then you have to also be that. You have to also find a place where you can be positive with that. So it's shifting your own energy to meet those needs, retelling your own narratives. It's also things like the energy of speech, what you say. If you want to create more abundance in life, more love, then you have to be mindful of not talking smack about things or not thinking the world's out to get you or people are out to get you or people are inherently bad. This is huge because in our culture right now, there's a lot of that we're feeling, right? That there's this black and whiteness of good and bad and these people that are bad and these people over here that are good and this model of perfectionism that we've all grown up with where we think everyone has to be perfect all the time and we're intolerant of people when they fall short of that and if our speech is not synced with what we want to bring into our lives, then it's challenging to bring it into our lives. Because if we're saying it out loud, we're also thinking it. So being able to change that energy of how we talk about things, if we think every time we get cut off in traffic, the person is a jerk, then it's hard to cultivate compassion and love if that's what you're wanting to create in your life. You have to catch that thought when it happens and think, well, maybe those people are just having a bad day, are late for something, or something happened that they're, I mean, let's be real, we've all cut people off in traffic accidentally. So that's important. It's, yes, as Jen says in the chat, thoughts are things. They become real. They become our reality. And our reality is to a lot of extent our own creation. It's how we think about the things around us. If you've known there's somebody who can have the same things that you have, but they're so joyful and they think their life is the best and they're embracing everybody and they're a joy to be around. Their perception, their reality is different, although a lot of the actual things can be the same to you, but if you're having a negative perspective, your reality is much more negative than that person who is choosing to see the good and the beauty in all things. So that's what I'm talking about is shifting your reality and the energy. It's your right speech, it's which leads to your right thoughts. Also, it's right emotions, like figuring out how do I feel about certain things. If I'm if I'm going to always have a sickening feeling in my stomach when I look at my bank account, which is something I definitely do all the time. Oh gosh, I have to look at my bank account. I I feel a little like queasy about it almost sometimes, especially if it's the end of the month or something like that. And it's just being able to recognize those emotions and then go, you know what, I'm going to train myself to look at my bank account without adding this story to it. The second you add all the story to it, then it becomes something else. But in reality, it's just me looking at my bank account. It is what it is. That's what it is. But I attach a story to it, which makes me feel queasy and all these other things. I want to be mindful of reading the chat too, in case there's anything I need to say. So if I pause awkwardly for a second, it's because I'm seeing what people are saying that, yes, so true, Joanne.
Dar
Yes. Yes,
Darling Mo
Darlene.
raised her hand. Is it all right to let her
Oh
in?
yeah, Darlene.
Yeah, I don't know if this is what you're saying, but I've been trying to get I want a certain amount of money in my bank account.
Mm-hmm.
I'm retired, I'm 63, I'm retired. And so I want a certain amount of money so that whenever I just want to just get up and go, I just go, right? So I've been
Mm-hmm.
working on this because I'm a used to be a spendaholic. Like I would get literally high when I would shop and just spend everything. And when I was younger, a young mom and wife, I would spend the rent money, spend the phone money. I spent everything and then be like, oh my God, I spent everything. We were in housing court. Anyway, I'm better now, much better now. But um, I want to get my account to a place where I can just get up and go when I want to. So I've been trying to do this since August. And so, well, actually, it's supposed to be done by August. And so it's not there. But what I do, I say, okay, it's going to get there. So I just make whatever adjustments, and I'm just going to keep going, and it's getting better and better, as I go, because little things keep coming and getting in the way, but I'm not stopping, and I keep my. It doesn't matter that it didn't happen in August, right? I'm just going to keep going until it happens, and now I'm getting closer and closer to that thing, and I'm a person who I never say what I can't do. I will keep saying that I'm going to do it until it seems like there's just no way that it can be done. I'm just going to say, this is what I want to do. And I'm just going to keep thinking that until it just makes no sense anymore to keep. But I'm going to keep pushing toward it. So I don't know if that's what you
Yes.
were meaning, but it's very important how you think, because if you start thinking that you're sick or that you don't feel well or that you're sad, the brain is powerful and it's going to make you start to feel that way. You're going to start to feel defeated. And so even in the midst of defeat, the mud, you're sitting in the mud, the rain is pouring, still there's something good you can find in it. There's something you have to think, I'm going to get out of this. This is going to change. And you always have to, focus on that. Anyway,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I love it. Thank you so much. That is exactly just in that mindset. And sometimes t it's hard to stay there, you know? And you have to recognize it within yourself and then go, as just as you said, like, no, I'm going to think positively about this. That's also a fantastic uh, example of co-creating in your life. Often we can find ourselves feeling like life's always out to get me, people are out to get me, I can never catch a break, I'm unlucky, all these things that create a reality for us that aren't a truth. That's just a thought that we're thinking. Sometimes we pick those up from maybe caregivers have acted that way, or a partner or somebody we know in our lives, and we've kind of picked up that um, way of being, that habit of doing that, and it it creates a different scenario in your life. You aren't co-creating anymore. Now you are just reacting. Your life has become reacting to all the things that aren't working out. And you're no longer in charge of your own life because you've given away your power to all of those things you feel aren't working out. And definitely, Linda, there's gratitude is a huge, huge part of it. Oh, Jen, do you have your hand raised?
I do, because in the therapy training, that is something that is said. It's important, like some of these things, whatever it is that starts the downward spiral, perhaps need to be witnessed sometimes. But you start saying things three and four times, the story starts to take over. The story changes form, and the whole energy around everything changes. And so yeah, it's the energy, it's the alignment more so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Carl Jung in your little write-up.
Right, right. So Carl has this really great. There's so many things you can get from his work. It's challenging to read sometimes in its true essence if you're just reading his work specifically, but there's so much out there you can learn about his work through other modalities that are a little bit more accessible if you're interested. But I'm going to touch on one thing that Carl Jung really uses with great success that I've applied myself to my own life and manifesting, and it's been very helpful. And that is doing some sort of shadow work. So, a shadow work is uh, really about looking at the things within yourself that are either not serving you, that are bringing you down, that are roadblocks in your life, that are building walls, not bridges, that are giving you challenges, that are making life hard for you, that is giving you feelings of you're not lovable, you're not worthy, you're not valid. All of that negative self-talk that you have that you might be even unaware of. Somewhere in your subconscious, you don't think you're worthy enough, valid enough. And this has it really plays a role in what you're going to manifest in your life because if you don't think you're worthy of it for whatever reason, it will be a roadblock for you and your ability to take charge of your life and move forward. So shadow work for me, I'll give you an example of recent shadow work that I'm doing. So I've been listening to my horoscope for say the last month and it's been like, you're stuck. You're stuck in this thing. What you want is already there, but there's some barrier for it. What between you and the thing? And I kept hearing that over and over, regardless of whatever person I was listening to, astrologer I was listening to, or anything. And it made me really reflect and look at what are things in my life that shadow work. It could be, um, one of the things was, I don't feel worthy of having that life because uh, I have never felt worthy. I feel like I'm invisible a lot of the times. I feel like I'm constantly trying to advocate for myself or trying to justify like how I feel or why that's valid. And I'm constantly doing this stuff to prove to people that I am valid instead of really going beneath that and doing that work on why do I feel that way and not to place blame. I think our Western culture does a lot of like blame placing, especially like on the moms, on the parents, on the caregivers. And certainly there is a lot of truth in that, but there's also scapegoating going on, right? You know, like we forget our parents are also humans. They're coming to life with the same way. They're making mistakes. They have challenges. They don't always do the right thing. They're imperfect like we are, and we forget that, right? So that was something I really had, like, oh, I feel let down. Why couldn't my parents do this, that, or the other for me? Why am I always at the bottom of the totem pole on everything? Why am I, why don't they listen to me? And I got in this cycle of constantly trying to advocate for everything about myself. Like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I not feeling this way? Why did I say that to so and so? Why did I do this? And I really had to look at those shadows in my life, those things that were subconsciously dictating my life in so many ways. And then I spent so much energy trying to validate who I was all the time instead of just finding that within myself, that I am valid within myself, I am worthy within myself. And these topics are, this is a lifelong work, I think, for probably all of us, I would venture to say. We all suffer with feelings of worthiness, some worthlessness, some of us more than others. Some of us are more cognizant of it than others, but that's a constant thing that people are working with throughout their lives. I'm going to pause for a second to just take a quick look. I do want to talk about gratitude, undoing family belief systems. It's tough and it's an ongoing process. So true, Linda. Oh, Darlene has her hand raised again.
I'm sorry, I haven't been here in a while.
No, no,
So
no.
um I think it's important to be real with your feelings. Like if you're feeling sad, you have to live in that, be that, but in
Right.
it you have to find some goodness from my arm is moving, my lungs are breathing something, but I because sometimes you could be depressed or something too. So you do need to
Right.
recognize, how you're feeling, and deal with it, go through it. Sometimes you just got to stay in it for a little while,
Right.
just stay in it for a little while sometimes because it's real. Like my life is not, I mean, I've been through some stuff. I have a great life, a beautiful life, all those things. But some of the stuff I go through is hard. And I don't
Right.
never want to, I try not to get in a place where I don't really feel it, like pretend like it's not hard because it is hard. But I make the choice to look at something bright, right? Find some
Right.
happiness in something, and it is a lifetime thing, you have to practice it, walk in it, move in it, and make decisions. You have to actually make a decision, to think a different way. But the one thing is to be real with it because we're going to be
Right.
up, we're going to be down sometimes. Things are going to go bad. These things are going to, they are going to happen, but don't pretend.
Yeah, but
You
like
don't
you
want to
said
get
last
pretend.
time,
Yeah.
like
You
you
don't
said
want to
last time, you
pretend.
said when you're in a mud, when you're stuck in a mud puddle, I was thinking that's when you say, I can make a mud face tack, right?
Yeah.
It,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. You bring up a good point in that, like we are talking specifically about manifesting, but if we broaden that out to our whole lives, it's okay to be in grief. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be angry. I know we're brought up not to be angry, ever. And a lot of us are challenged with that emotion, both expressing it and being in contact with it. It's okay to be all those things because we're human. There are only fleeting, in my book, I say there's only these fleeting moments, seconds really, of perfection in life. And notice it when it happens and be so grateful for it. But life is mostly imperfect because we're human, we're in this human body, experiencing this, what it's like to be human on the planet. And that is this is a learning incubator, right? It's like we're not here to be perfect. We're here to grow. We're here to deepen who we are. We're here to experience life. We're here to experience those emotions when they come and those times in life that are, man, oh, so hard, almost unbearable. I think we probably all have moments in our lives where we're can I weather much more than this? I don't know if I can. Where is my bottom? And that's okay to be there because that's a human experience.
It's
That's
been challenging lately, for sure, indeed. Let
hmm
me just say, so to me, this is we're talking about our experience of life,
right.
flat out. And um it's perception. It's perception. So manifestation, I mean, it's such a huge field. This whole
Right.
we spent, I don't know if some of you guys were have been with me for years, but remember we had that whole year we talked about living the law of attraction. I think it was 2021. But yeah, so when you give us a little bit? I want to get back to the Carl Jung because that's what was written. I just
hmm
want to say you say you used one and he talks about doing shadow work.
hmm
Um but good Lord, we all know it's a little bit tough, but that's what we do here.
Right.
We touch it until it's a little too much for today, and that's good enough. And
hmm
then we come away and give ourselves lots and lots of love in between these sessions of touching and holding this toughness. Um, for me. But
hmm
I want to know, what do you do specifically in
Right.
this area, please?
Yes. So I am a huge meditator. I know meditation is a challenging for a lot of people. And you do have to really hone your meditation skills in order to find meditation enjoyable or useful when you first start out. It can be really, really hard, and that's a barrier for a lot of people. So, um, you need to do what works for you. I'm also a huge journaler. And that's kind of how I approach my shadow work is when I notice there is something that's not working out, that's bringing me some suffering. Suffering, a lot of suffering is the stories we attach to the suffering, not necessarily the thing that's happening to us itself, but it's a story that we've attached to it that is giving us the grief, that is giving us the sorrow, and that we find challenging. When I come up against something like that and I'm feeling suffering with inside myself, and suffering has many degrees, I'm kind of talking about this daily suffering or things that happen. Um, I dig deep with journaling. What is the thing? First, I name the thing. What is the suffering I have right now? Uh, I had a challenging conversation with my adult daughter, and now I have this suffering because they're mad at me for whatever it was, you know? And so I label it this conversation I had. I might even say the conversation I had on January 5th at 2 p.m. with my daughter regarding blah. Um, it left me feeling unheard, unwanted, disrespected. Why? Why is that? And then I use my journal to drill down And if any of you are journalers, once you start writing, you will say the most incredible things to yourself that you did not know otherwise. Other things you're mad at will come up. Other times you were mistreated or thought of in this way. Other things are bumping up against the current suffering, old sufferings, bumping up against your current suffering. So many things. And writing about it, I might stick with that because sometimes when something really happens, we can't just write about it and then we're over it and we go back to how we were prior to the thing happening. It sticks with you. It's a suffering for a while. It can be a suffering for a long time. For example, a lot of people were laid off in these last couple of years, and finding a job and getting the same pay has been a huge suffering for people. It's hard to let it go when it's happening in the moment. So I use journaling to really kind of drill down into what I'm suffering with right now. And then I sit with that in meditation. What does the suffering feel like? I like to tell people I try to take the shadow out and look at it as though it's an object in front of me. Why is this so painful? Why is this making me feel sad? What is this thing? What are all the pieces? Can I pick it apart? Can I open it up and look inside? And as Jen said, sometimes you tap in and you tap out because it's really painful to go there. Sometimes you uncover things that are really hard that you haven't acknowledged to yourself. And sometimes you need professional help outside of just your journaling or doing the things that you're doing. And or you need support and all those things. And so it's good to be mindful of that. But that's kind of how I do my shadow work, is it usually starts with journaling about it, identifying it. I used to never identify what my suffering was, and I had really absolutely no clue. I just knew I was suffering, and I was suffering because of this end product. Something happened, but I didn't know anything behind that suffering. I didn't know why I chose to define it as suffering. And so for me, shadow work is looking behind all of that. What are these things? What are my beliefs? What are my values? Is there a clash there? What is the story I'm attaching to this current situation? Is there other stories that are intertwined with this? And how can I change that narrative for myself? And that is a big part of manifesting. Is the first prompt I want to talk about to you is to consider a narrative for yourself in this 2026. What is your narrative? If it were December 31st, 2026, and you're writing a letter to yourself, what is that going to look like? What do you want to manifest between this moment and December 31st? And then write about it. I often write it as a letter to myself, but write it in the present tense. It's not, I am going to have this. I may get this. It's like, this year, I became financially secure. It felt like this. It happened in this way, generally. You don't want to be super, super specific, but you want to talk about it in the present sense and bring in these energetic things we were talking about. How does it feel to be that way? How how did you shift how you talk about it? How did you shift your energy? What does your energy feel like now? How does this align with your values and your truths and who you are as a person? And write that letter to yourself and name what these manifestations you want to create in this coming year are. And that becomes your roadmap, as it was. And then you're going to fill in that roadmap with all the different steps from here, from January 6th through December 31st. And the stepping stones are part of your mini goals, are your things you're going to work on, the roadblocks you think you feel are in front of you that you're having, and the gratitude that you feel along the way. Gratitude is a huge part of manifestation. Being grateful for what you have in this moment, being grateful for yourself for showing up and doing this work, being grateful you could tick 3 things off your to-do list. Just the gratitude goes such a long way into changing your mindset, creating more of a higher vibe in your energy. And it's an anchor you can lean on. It's an anchor you can hold to as you're doing this work and you have setbacks and things of that nature.
Yeah, because every day is not going to float very softly.
Yeah,
So let me just ask, are you asking everybody to take a few moments now to do this?
let's do it. Let's just maybe take 5 minutes or so to just jot down what what are you going to say to yourself on December 31st, 2026?
Okay, and so we'll do 5 minutes on that, and I want everybody to know that they do not have to share anything. Don't let that stop you from expressing what wants to be expressed today. And I will do some music because I can, because you're not sharing the screen right now. So let me 5 minutes. You could shut your camera off if you'd like. And we're on our last minute. And if you could finish up those couple sentences, come back to circle. Juliana?
Yeah, so I want to just acknowledge what Wanda said about grieving requires the difficult task of throwing out the map. She's doing a quote. And yes, grieving is a process unto itself and very individualized as well. As we could do a whole another one of these, probably a year-long workshop on grief. It's very complicated, especially for people living in the Western world where we're not supposed to show that or have that, and you get met with a lot of positive toxicity, like, well, get over it. Well, you've been grieving for a while. All these things, very challenging, hard subject. And I just want to acknowledge that before we move on. So we have been talking about matching your energy. And now I want to talk about, well, first, does anyone want to share what they wrote? You don't have to, it's not required. Linda?
I am sharing mine
Okay.
because I want to do it before I chicken out. And my daughter, who is a master manifester, she really has manifested so much, says you have to put it out there. So I'm going to do it. Here's
Yay.
my letter. Dear Linda, I'm so glad you had your knee surgery. You are walking and moving better than ever. It feels so great to be strong and to teach yoga and fitness again. Walking around in Italy, what a blessing. I am so grateful for the ability to accomplish this. My book sales fueled my dreams of traveling to Italy. I am so happy and grateful. It was beautiful, and I will be forever thankful to myself, my family, my friends, and my readers. That's it.
I love that for you. Yay.
I love it for me too. Yay.
That's so wonderful. So wonderful. And perfect. That's perfect. That's very concise um
And
and
specific.
doable. You can do it. Yeah, and
Yes,
specific.
that's what my daughter tells me. I mean, she really should be a something like this, but she rather is a marketing person for social media. So
Well,
whatever.
we'll give her a few years. She'll come around to our way of
I
thinking.
know.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, from your mouth to God's ears, Linda.
Yep. Yep. So true.
And Linda May.
Yeah.
Hi. Hi,
Hi.
Zinjan. Haven't seen you for a while. It's really good to be here. So I have written to myself this letter on December 31st, 2026. What a year this has been. The journey from Louisville to Albuquerque was smoother than I could have imagined. I love my new home. It is everything I ever wanted. My bedroom is a safe haven. My office is set up for the sacred, and the poetry I've written this year will soon be a new book. Speaking of books, last year's Stafford Challenge gave me a plethora of poetry to choose from, and the collection I created is now in print and selling well. I am healthier than I have ever been.
I
Makes
love
me
it.
feel good just to say all that.
Yes, exactly. See, that's the power of speech too, like saying it out loud and revisiting that. And I love it. I love it.
Wonderful.
Also very doable.
Mm. Oh, it feels good even listening.
Yeah, it does. It's very inspiring to hear what other people are hoping to do with their lives and looking to do, and it makes you feel less alone in your own quest for your own things in life. Would anyone else like to share? I see a hand raised. Grace, are you raising your hand? I think
Still
you're
on mute,
muted.
sweetheart. There
Okay,
you go.
I think I
There you
am.
go.
Well, I didn't really write a letter, but I listed the things that I want for myself for the coming year. In 2026, I will find love. I will not struggle with money. I will be surrounded by good friends. I will be more social. I will appreciate what I've got. I will be more positive, and I will travel to England. And that's to visit family.
Oh,
England, I have family in England. So, and I've been wanting to go, determined to go the last 3 years, and I haven't. Again, a financial, as somebody else mentioned earlier, the financial part of it is a real struggle. And I think that for a lot of people, but yeah, so yeah. So I didn't write the letter, but I wrote a list.
I love it. Well, you have a list to start your letter.
Hmm.
So you and those are all. I noticed that a lot of your list was the things are kind of a little bit intertwined, which is really fabulous. Like you're looking to put more love in your life, more friends, get out more. All those things are part of that co-creating that love you're looking for. So I love how that is. They're intertwined. You've kind of created a little web there. You also want the love of your family by traveling to go see them and I
Hmm.
love it. It's great. My
Oh, thank you.
homework to you would be to write a letter to yourself in the present tense. It's happened. It's here. You've done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Brain expert, what was her name? Phyllis Ginsburg was with us one time and she talked about that. The if it will, if there's not the it will stay will.
Right.
It will, I will do this. It'll stay will in the brain because it
Oh,
doesn't, we have to say it is
okay.
to be
Yeah.
there with it. Otherwise, it's going to stay a will. She said it's just the way that the brain works, which is incredibly fascinating. But yeah, that's so important to feel the energy.
Right. Right. It's so true. And the same can be said about I talk about this in my book in the love-hate relationship I have with the word hope. Because hope puts the goodness in the future, but also we need to have hope in order to keep going. But when you're always, I hope I'll be financially successful. I hope I'll do these things. That's in the future, just like I will is in the future. So, it's when a lot of manifestors will say it's already there. It just hasn't, the divine timing hasn't happened yet, because you're putting it in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more question from Tammy in there. Can you see it in the chat?
Is it better to write this letter in the present tense? You could write it in the present tense and also in the past tense. You could do a little bit of both. Your goals that you've achieved should be in the present tense. Like I am now financially successful. I now have five more friends, or whatever you're trying to manifest in your life. But you can say along the way, I learned this about myself that allowed me to find myself in my true manifestation. I hope that makes sense to you. So someone's raising their hand, Joan.
Okay, I'll read I'll read what I wrote.
Okay.
In 2026, I lived my dream, the literary life. I wrote letters to friends all over the world, letters to politicians and to newspapers expressing my views. I wrote poems, many poems, and letters to my favorite poets expressing gratitude. I wrote book reviews and articles on wildlife conservation and about the diminishing backyard bird species and about so much more.
Love it. Love it. It totally reminds me of I just read The Correspondent. I don't know if you've read it, but oh, what a beautiful book. It's all about corresponding. It's so beautiful. But yes, I love that for you. And again, you see how so often our manifestations are all intertwined with each other. You know, the theme of writing, all these various things for you, Joan. It's intertwined. And
It's Joanne.
Joanne, oh, sorry.
Yeah, and the spreading of love energy
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
going everywhere.
Yeah, I love it.
It's going everywhere.
I love it. It's so inspirational. I think that's another really wonderful thing about manifestation. If you can find a group or people to share your manifestations with to kind of keep you moving forward, to give you support, that is also um, very, very helpful as you're manifesting throughout the year. Because even just here listening to a few of your manifestations has fed my soul and my manifestations and my feelings of I can do it too, you know, and I'm not alone. And it's just so, so important to create that bowl of support for yourself. And a lot of these things, I want to talk about the co-creation part of manifesting. So, along with just identifying what they are, it's important to become a co-creator. How can you achieve these manifestations? How can you bring them into the world of reality? What do you need to do? And that often is the stepping stones that I was talking about earlier. Some people will do this manifestation as an actual map, a drawing. They'll start in this one place. They have a windy road that ends up in December 31st, 2026, and that letter they wrote to themselves. And along the way, they'll have some goals they need to do, like a lot of what Grace was saying you can also hone that into a few goals like, oh, I need to get out more. So my goal will be to find one group to attend this month that I'll go to, even though when the time comes to leave the house, I'm going to have some trepidation. I'm going to get over that and I'm going to go to the thing. And so that's your mini goal as you're working towards being more and back into community, which is a goal for a lot of people because COVID really, we retreated from community and now we're having to relearn how to be in community with one another. And that's a real thing. And I think a lot of people think that that's not, you know, I must be kind of weird or odd that I'm afraid to go out now. I've created a little bit of this, you know, fear or trepidation, and I don't quite know how to talk to people, and I'm relearning these skills, and that's what everyone's doing. That's even the most gregarious people are relearning those skills. So there's these mini goals along the way. Patty, did you have a question or? Oh, you're muted.
Okay. No, when you mentioned the path, and I didn't write, I just made this. Don't look at that page. I
Oh,
made
see, you did it spontaneously.
because it was much easier for me to, and I'll tell you, I won't have it in a letter, but it was called My Moment. This is my moment in time and poetry. I just took, what did I say? Oh, this is what I took a picture of myself and I laughed. And that was part of the poem I wrote today. And wait, minus alcohol, I'm getting thinner. Then I had dollars. be grateful for what I do have. The full moon is a group of women I meet with every month. Uh, Canada in the summer, where I'll see my family and my great grandchildren. And then to Ireland, which is my home, my heart. And then to start painting again.
Mm.
So it's beginning to search deep into myself, into my soul. And and I've really been hooked on the word impermanence, which tells me that this moment, this is it, and it's going to be gone. So I better. So anyway, that's what I did.
Yeah, see, you could easily put some goals in there along your roadmap of I'm going
Yeah,
to go out and buy some new paints and new
right.
paintbrushes.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
going to
right.
The hardest part is actually doing it because you have to step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. And yeah, I have to tell myself I'm a painter.
Yes,
Nobody else is painting.
exactly.
And for me, then I can sit down and do something like this funny little drawing. Yeah.
Exactly. Like everyone who's expressed the desire to be writers or be published or to do something of that nature, you're a writer. You're a
Hmm.
writer right now. Start calling yourself that. You're a writer. You're a painter.
Hmm.
That's what you are.
I'm a traveler.
Yes. And we're
Writer.
all creative. We're
Yes.
all we're all creatives right
Yeah.
here.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Zenful Conversations has been around since 2019. And each year we had a different book that we followed. And when we got to the law of attraction, living the law of attraction, we needed more than one book. And we had many books. And that's actually when we started having guest speakers join us to help understand all this. But what we realized after that whole year of studying it, 2022's conversation was on self-discipline
Hmm.
because we have to be able to move forward with these things that need to get us in alignment
Yes.
with such. So
And it's
it's so
uncomfortable.
important. And
Yes.
that's all part of, I guess, when you're journaling. So you've got about, 10-ish, 15 minutes here. That piece that you had them do, they need to spend probably a little bit more time with that
Yeah.
letter.
Yes. I would
And then
spend
take it and do what with it to get to this
right.
real, tangible thing.
Yes. So consider that your end point. And now you need to fill in the mini goals of how you're going to get there. If you want to be a painter, maybe you have to go out and get some fresh supplies. You have to you have to be okay with the fact that you're going to do some paintings that you don't really like. And that's okay. You're going to start. Getting out of your comfort zone is huge, huge, huge in manifesting what you want. It's one of the biggest things that you will do. It's also the barrier that almost everyone has to manifesting anything because getting out of your comfort zone is really, really hard. But when you do it, it becomes easier and easier to do it. I spent a whole year getting out of my comfort zone. I did a lot of things, small things, big things, all kinds of things. I'm a very shy person. Doing this was used to be out of my comfort zone. And I did that. I'm only a published author because I got out of my comfort zone. You have to push yourself out of the comfort zone if you want to manifest what you want. And so, keeping this letter to yourself, keeping this letter, looking at it periodically, redefining it, rewriting it as time goes on, because what you think is your manifestation right now might shift. One thing might lead to something else that you didn't realize at first. Like, I thought I was just looking for new friends, and I realized, like, now I found this sisterhood, or now I found maybe what I wanted all along was sisterhood, not friendships, not this other thing. Maybe getting out and about wasn't about just doing things. What is really about community. and so your letter will get redefined throughout time and you might change it as time goes on, but that's something that you look at to remind you that is what I want to do. And then the other thing is the second prompts that you would do is, and sometimes people do this as a big sun, like you write a circle, you put your manifestation in the middle, and then each ray is something that's pointing to your manifestation. Like if you want to become a painter again or writer, okay, I'm going to write 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week. I'm going to carve out I actually write at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., because that is the only me time that I have, and I had to become dedicated to getting up at 5, and it's very hard in the winter, easier in the summer, very hard in the winter. And I'm disciplined about it. I got to be in bed by a certain time because I have this commitment to myself that I'm going to write at 5 a.m. And that's one of my rays. And I'm going to step out on a limb and I am going to submit a poem to this periodical, to two, maybe it's one periodical a month. I have a friend who dedicated herself to writing a poem every day. It can be the crappiest thing she's ever written or something that ends up in a journal or in a book. She's a published author. She's a well-known poet. She writes every day and then she shows it to people. She doesn't just write it and keep it to herself. She steps out of the comfort zone and sends it out to 10,000 people every day. You have to really co-create in order for your manifestations to start growing. You're the gardener of these manifestations. You have to water them, you have to give them food, you have to nurture them, you have to cover them when it's going to freeze at night. You have to nurture them, co-create with them. Sometimes, they become a vine and they take a different turn, and that's beautiful too. And you have to recognize that. You have to be a little bit fluid. You can't be so rigid in your manifestations because you're co-creating, and there's also this whole energy of that you don't necessarily know is out there. It might be ancestral energy. It might be there's some energy as to why you're here on this planet right now that you don't remember, that is part of why you're here. It might be something beyond yourself. A lot of times it is, and you have to have some fluidity in your manifestation and what's going to happen with it. But you also have to keep it in your presence. If you lose sight of what you're trying to manifest because life gets in the way, then it'll be another year where you had a New Year's resolution and you didn't accomplish whatever that was during the
Yeah.
year.
Oh,
Um, the I forget my honestly I lost my train of thought. My dog's barking over here, so it messed me up
Oh,
in my train of thought. But listening. I want to say listening to wherever you believe it is coming from is probably a big part of it as well. And that's
right.
probably what you're talking about when you were talking about the meditation or giving yourself
Yes.
space and time.
Yes, to just be with it. Even if your meditation is, so sometimes I'll just take 3 breaths with this manifestation to just center myself in it because you get wild in it, especially if something like when my book was being published, it became this unreal thing and I had to keep bringing it back, because so many people get involved in a process. Like you want to be a published writer, and then that's happening, but then all of a sudden there's a publisher and a publicist and an editor, and there's all these other things, and there's things you have to do, and it can pull it away from you, and it's important to just bring it back to yourself and your heart and ask yourself, is this really what I wanted? Does it need to be something else? Do I need to reinvent it yet again? Or is this, yes, what I want? And it's going to require more stepping out of your comfort zone. If you really truly decide to manifest what you've written to yourself, This is a year of getting outside your comfort zone and doing it and doing it and making promises to yourself and keeping them because you're worth it. You're worth those promises. You're worth this manifestation. It is something that you can have. You can have it. Give yourself permission to have it. It's another thing that we don't do, and it blocks us from manifestation. If you don't
But
give
I
your,
also think this is living our highest self, which
yes,
is really what we're meant to be, full expressions of who we are.
right.
I don't mean to cut you off, but we are at our end here, and I wanted to ask, is there any final words or comments that you'd like to say before we go around and invite everybody? I'd like to hear what you're taking with you from today's conversation. But Juliana, I wanted to give you any final words you want to say here.
Yes, so your homework is to work a little more on your letter to yourself and then to fill in what that roadmap looks like. Some people calendar it. Some people, like I said, make a map and put it on there. And when a roadblock happens, acknowledge it and maybe journal or think about it or meditate on it or talk about how you will overcome the roadblock. So there's a roadblock, you need an editor. How are you going to get around that roadblock and back on your path? What are you going to do? Be flexible. And I'll just reiterate the four things that I think are most important. Live like you already have it in all the ways, with all your senses, with all your emotions, with all your thoughts. Live like you already have it. Match your energy to your goal. Co-create with your own destiny, with the divine, with the universe, with whatever your spiritual belief is, co-create with it. Co-create every day. Take your power and give yourself the grace when there's a backward step. It's not a roadblock, it's just a backward step that maybe is leading somewhere you didn't expect. It could be the best backward step you ever took in your life, but don't perceive it as I don't deserve this. I'm not worthy enough. This is too hard, or whatever it is. Have grace with yourself when you're not trudging forward every single moment you're awake. And take time to rest when you need to, because this is hard work. But you can do it. You can all do it. You're all worthy of doing it. It's all for you. It's already there. Your job this year is to reach out and grab it.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, Wanda W., what are you leaving here with today? What's on your mind? What are you taking with you?
Um, I'm gonna build a better sandbox.
Nice.
You
Love
got
it.
me thinking too.
I
Yeah,
am
thanks so
too.
much, Wanda.
And yeah, so that's good enough.
Thank you, dear. Brooke, what are you taking with you from today's conversation?
It's the year of the bee. I am committed to being part of a hive, being redefining and discovering community and contributing, but also as a bee when I'm out there on my own in the wide open woods, just being confident, having stamina, exploring and foraging all by myself.
Mm,
That's all.
Yes, thank you. Ginny,
Listening to the voices, listening to the silences.
wait, who read there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you call my name, Zinja? No, somebody else?
Who? I can't even see
T.
who's talking.
T. Was
Hey,
T.
talking.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
said Ginny, but that's okay. T.
Oh.
So I was looking at her. I'm like,
Oh.
hold on. Did everybody hear that? Did
Mhm.
everybody hear? Okay, great, great, great. Ginny.
Okay, what I got out of it was I need to get out of my comfort zone, and I need to be the gardener to nurture my goals. That's what I'm
Awesome.
going to work on.
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, and T will be actually with us on Thursday for a workshop, and she mentioned that she's going to be writing a letter to yourself as well. And that is I use it in my workshops too. It's excellent. But I want to let everybody know that T is Thursday with her workshop here. Linda M.
Oh, that's me.
Linda and Mundell. There's two
Yes.
Linda M's.
Keep on trucking, baby.
Mundell.
Did you
Keep
hear
on
it? I
trucking.
said it. That's
Yep.
it.
You got it, babe. Tammy.
This image that came to my mind was one of it's called woolly riding. So like out west in where I live, bull riding is popular. But when I taught first grade, some kids would tell me, "Oh, I do woolly riding," and that's where you get on a sheep and try to stay on. So I think for me getting out of my comfort zone, I'm not gonna like go near any bulls, but maybe I can handle a sheep or something like that. Small
I
step.
like that. Thank you. Grace.
Okay, I guess I'm going to work on the letter in present tense, or that it's going to happen. It's not I will, it's already happened. I guess that's how it was put. And then get out of my comfort zone too, because it's easy for me to, for example, recently a couple of events that I wanted to go to. And one night it was snowing, and then I said, "Oh, I don't want to drive in the snow." And then another night it was this or that. And I have to just do it. And I want to do it, but then I find a reason not to. So I guess I don't know how I would put that, but out of my comfort zone. Yeah. Don't let weather or nighttime driving stop me. So those, yeah. And change this letter, write it in as if it's happened already.
Awesome to see you as well. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Patty Joy.
Here I am. This has been very interesting and very exciting to do with you. I have a path here that I'm walking on, that I did walk on and got to the end, and I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I it's just so many things happened. I just don't know how to talk about it. I'm thrilled. And even in my life today, everything is beginning to work, and I come a long way. And I love the image of the selkie, and that's who I am. The water calls me constantly. Yeah.
So if you were to say, though, one thing that struck you that you're sticking in your pocket and taking with you from the conversation, what might it be?
Well, I'm going to take this path with me. It's something I wrote down. Consider, well, whatever it is. I just
Your drawing of the path?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Grateful and
cool.
thank
you. Cool. Joanne Snyder.
I am feeling quite proud of myself. I just realized in the last year through dream work in a group, meditation work in a group, I have manifested things I've forgotten about. Not literally forgotten, but I realized, and I'm getting feedback. You are this, this, and this. What have you been doing? So that's very exciting. But I think I've always lived my life that way. I manifest in a way that it seems magical, but I do a lot of it through meditation, reading, poetry, and working with like night dreams. I think night dreams are very, very powerful if you're honest about your dreams. So I guess what I'm taking away from this is thank you for your reinforcement, and I'll continue doing the same and paying a little close attention on what's the story if I happen to go into fearful feelings, like what's the story? And I'm realizing it's not true. It's just a story. So that this practice will help me. Thank you, everybody. Happy New Year.
Wonderful. Thank you. Wonderful. Thanks. Good to see you too. Lori?
Yes, I'm glad I'm going after Joanne because she eloquently said exactly what I was thinking. Last year was really tough, and I started a very dedicated meditation practice, and I was in some therapy, which I've been able to stop now, and using journaling and meditation, it is has been very helpful, and I feel much better. And I really, what I plan to take away with me is the letter and the sun diagram, and to just help better frame what I'm doing and to be a little bit more specific. So this
Oh,
has been wonderful. Thank you.
awesome to see you. Brenda Wild. I'm just going to start calling you Brenda Wild.
Okay, I like that. I'm thinking living into the expectation. And I wrote about how that's different from taking things for granted, but just kind of living into the expectation. Yeah.
And thank you. Thank you for
Thanks.
putting that on the table. Let's see. Betty, are you able to come on the voice and talk for a minute, dear? Miss Betty,
Yes,
are you there with us?
I'm here,
Okay,
and
hon, yeah. What are you taking with you this time, dear?
I'm taking that I'm going to start looking at the world that the glass is half full in contrast to being half empty.
Beautiful. How pretty you are, too. Thanks for coming on screen. Juliana.
Did you call Joanne?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Thank you, Juliana, for your encouragement. What I'm taking with me is a stronger commitment to journaling and to be braver on the page.
Thank you, thank you. Miss Darlene?
Yeah, I think I'm taking away for me to keep stepping out of my comfort zone. Because somebody else said that to me as well, especially for the next step that I want to take. I have to do things differently. So this was a confirmation of that. Also, meet the energy of the goal that you're trying to reach. And that the way that I do things is it was like a confirmation of that. So just keep doing what it is that I'm doing. And also that I need this group and I've missed you guys and that was felt for me today. Being in community and in groups like these is important. So I missed you guys and how important this group is to me. I didn't know it until I wasn't here because I was in the comedy improv group, and that helped me too to step because I had to do some silly things in that class, but it did give me what it was that I was looking for. But it meant that I had to not be here, and it helped me to miss you guys and realize how important that is. And Juliana, I just enjoyed this today, and thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, on that note, real quick, and Judith Valente, we're still gonna go down to you for a minute here, but I just wanted to say, to me, uh, it really set in that if I'm the energy of love, and love is the highest vibration, then this is my experience, and that's what I will attract, and that is how I've been trying to live. And so I just kind of think everything else will fall into place from there. Miss Judith Valente, I thank you so much for coming today. What are you taking with you from today's conversation, dear?
Well, thank you, Juliana. Thank you, everybody, for your wonderful sharing, and thank you, Zen Jen. Um, I'm taking away, I am worthy and valid. What I have seen as burdens in the past are opportunities, and I give myself permission to have what I need and what I want.
Mhm. Thank you for that. And Kimberly says that she's leaving with, she's not feeling well, so she's off camera today, but more journeys zone, outside of comfort zone. And I think we got everybody. Did I miss anybody? Make sure I don't miss anybody. Um, and just also want to make sure everybody was able to express whatever they wanted to express. You're feeling here whole and complete and okay. And yes, a reminder that this is not a replacement for any kind of help that we may need. And life is tough, but I certainly believe 100% that it's helpful, and it does a great deal of uh ease, allows a lot more ease into my life. Just even thinking in the possibility, that instead of lack, thinking in the abundant mindset. Um, and so I thank you, Juliana, for bringing this to us today, for getting us thinking about it, and more conscious of our daily actions. Do do my actions align with what it is I'm saying that I want in my life? Is where's the conflict? And just giving it a non-judgmental eye, a heart wrapped around my day-to-day actions. And thank you for reminding us how important it is. How important it is. Did you have a good time?
It was amazing. Thank you all for allowing me to come today. I feel so energized in my own manifestation, just being here in this community. And thank you so much for this
Awesome, awesome.
opportunity.
We hope you had a good time. How can these people get in touch with you if they'd like to?
You can go to my website, julianajbruno.com, and there's place where you can message me there if you like. And you can tune into my podcast and anywhere else. If you reach out to me, I will definitely reach back to you. So,
And the podcast is I Care About You. I Care About You with Juliana J. Bruno, Bruno. In deep gratitude, everybody. Thank you so much for your love and your energy, and for lifting us all up. Namaste. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.